For the past couple of years, I have been following Indieweb principles where the idea is to not rely on other sites like Facebook, Twitter, and keep everything within your own site. Now, if you go to the website, you can of course learn about how they have uh, suggested you can do these things. Now, I use Drupal a lot, and there is also a module called Indieweb. So if you go to Drupal website and if you search for Indieweb, you can download the module. It has different sub-modules, and when you configure all those modules, you will have a wonderful site that is following the Indieweb principles. And I just want to give you one example. So let us say if I post something on Twitter, now the idea here is to post a note on your own website and then syndicate it, basically share a link on Twitter. Now, on my Twitter, there is a link to my blog, and when someone is reposting it, liking it, or maybe doing something further with it, those likes, repost will get back to your site as a web mention. So if you go to my recent post on my ravisagar.in website, you will see that there is a section at the very end called web mention. So if you like my tweet where I have a link to my website, that like or retweet will get captured and displayed on my website. There are also other things that you can do with Indieweb concepts. This is of course just one example. For doing that, you need to of course follow the documentation, and you have to basically make sure that you have the right content type and you have everything configured as it should be. Also, there is one app called Indigenous app. It is an Android app that I downloaded. And when you download this app, you can also connect it to your website, your Indieweb compatible website. In my case, it is Drupal. Now, when I connect my website to this Indigenous app, I can post a note or a blog from the app. I can also like something from the app. I can also retweet, not really a retweet, but I can also repost something on my site. So basically, the app will let me post things on my website, and from my website, I can also syndicate it. So whenever I open the app, I have the option to, let us say, add a note or a blog or a check-in. And I also have the option to syndicate it further on Twitter, for example. And this is amazing because now everything is stored on my website. Let us say if I have to like something, that even that like is stored as a like on my site. And now it is up to you whether you want to store it as a content type, separate content type called like, or you want to just keep everything within Note. On my website, on my Drupal website, I have a content type called Note, and I use that particular content type for likes, for sharing short notes, sharing maybe pictures, checking in, for example, which is amazing because I can also do it from the web version of my Drupal, create note page, or I can also use this Indigenous app where I can capture my current location. I can also share a picture and of course the actual note itself. So this is something that I have recently implemented on my site, and I'm quite happy with that. With everything I have achieved so far. I'm yet to understand each and everything about Indieweb. There are a lot of things to figure out, but basically you can also convert someone mentioning you. Let us say you write a post, and in Drupal, or in fact in any other CMS, you have the concept of comments. Now when they post or when they like your post using the same principles, that particular web mention can also be added as a comment. So this is something that I'm still testing, and I'll let you know once I have that configured. Hopefully, I will also share a tutorial on how to configure the Indieweb Drupal module on your website. And by the way, you don't really have to use Indieweb Drupal, or in fact Drupal. You can also use your own custom site if you want. You of course have to make sure you're following the specifications from Indieweb, or you can also use a CMS like Known, for example, which I used in the past and it works great. So this is all I wanted to share in this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned something new today. Thank you very much.